Hello, this is Liz with Crafted Devotion, and I shared this cute little bird in my group and in other groups, and people thought it was so cute they wanted to know how to make it. So I'm going to teach you how I made it, and it's a very versatile thing. I'm not the first one to make this type of craft, but it's just my take on it. As I don't think I ever saw anybody else use this trim on the edges, which I'll show you what it is, and I'll show you how easy these are to make. They're a little puffy, and you can make them as puffy as you want. Here I use this gorgeous fabric, which I think I'm going to make more of these. I would actually put this one on my Christmas tree because I like those dark colors, but I think I want to change that bird. I might make it the different bird. But and then here's an example of a stocking. And let me show you about the templates. I think people ask the most about a template. You can use any template. I'll show you where I got my free templates. The first original one that I made here, I do now remember after seeing it that it was basically a wood bird, and I just traced it. It was a wood one I had, and I'm sure it's someplace, but I had just traced it and used it, and I happened to find that wood bird on line. So when I like to look for templates, here's a sample of how I did my templates. When I look for a template, I just go to Pinterest and I type in template. I say bird template, and I'll find a bird. If you can say tree template, and you'll find cutouts like these that you can use. And then what I did is I just placed it on I just put it up on my computer, and then I actually made it the size I wanted actually on the screen, and it came out about the right size. So if you compare this one to this one, you can actually use this one. But the thing I do want you to think about when you're choosing one is, I'll show you my favorites. My favorites is on this page. This is one of my favorites. It's right here. This is the one that went on here. But I modified it. It was, if you can see this was the pattern right here. And I decided I wanted this little detail here. I'm going to tell you the reason why I like this one. And I'm going to change this one more because I like the little round puffy look. But I like how the tail's going up a little bit. And then I like how wide it is here. Why do you want that? You want the width because when you stuff it, it makes it easier to stuff it. The same with the beak. You might want to round out your beaks, make them a little more prominent, knowing that you can trim them. So basically, choose your own template. Draw it yourself. You can draw it a simple bird. This one right here is closer to the original one that I showed you right here. Very close. But I have made some changes to it. And I'm finding this one right here, I might want to round that off. So I found the actual image of the bird I used on Pinterest when I Googled bird, and I kept on looking. There was one that said wood. So it said wood bird. So that's the one I used, the one that says wood bird. That's for this one. And then this one right here that I just did, which is a little bit different. I used this one right here. And I do have more. So you can do tree, and I said what you want to think about when you're choosing your template or if you're drawing your own is when you stuff it, how is it going to stuff? So see how narrow this one is right here compared to this one by the heel. It's harder to put things in right here. And so actually when I cut it, I usually make this a little wider when I'm cutting them out. You can choose, here's a stocking. Oops, here's the stocking. I chose stocking, and I wanted a long one. This is somebody actually had this on there, and they drew it. And so I used that for this one. Long, thin stocking. But you could choose a stocking that looks like this. So that's up to you what you like. I like the long, thin because to me that looks more vintage. And when I made my first one, this is what I will tell you about this template, is I don't like how it's kind of rounded, because sometimes I wanted to add something up here and it was kind of difficult because it's so rounded. So I might next time go all the way up just to these edges and then maybe cut it straight. And I did that here. So this is the stocking. I cut it out and I made some changes to it when I cut it out. See, I made it straight. So I'm going to see if that's going to work better when I do it. I can always cut them afterwards, but I just, I actually straightened this part out a little bit so that it reaches out into a triangle. And you can actually point the foot more. You can do whatever you want. But this template did work. So what are you going to do? You're going to go to Pinterest and Google your own. I did want to show you this picture because one of the things about how I put the lace here on the belly of the satin one is I'm really keeping in mind this type of a form. So I'm going to show you at the end all kinds of different ways to decorate these. So first I'm going to just show you how basically I cut it out. Then I'm going to show you how I finished it off. And then at the end, I'm going to go more in detail and give you different options, because you can buy trim for my home, my shop. You know, I have laces in terms of my shop, but you don't have to. You can go and use your stash. You can use scraps. You can use anything. So let's get started. Let's see here. So I decided I wanted to show you on a floral other than just the solids. The chubby bird. I like the chubby. Well, no, this is the wrong one. Well, one of the chubby birds, which is this one, I traced it on the back of a fabric. And this one is a floral, lavender floral. Okay. I chose that because I wanted something so you could see what it looks like with the floral and see how easy these are to make. And so I just wanted to choose something different other than the solid colors. You can choose whatever. Now, one thing I would say to you, when you're choosing your fabric, the stiffer and thicker your fabric is, the better. This one here was made with upholstery fabric. It's very thick. And guess what? It was the easiest one to make because it was so nice and thick. And I may change my pattern a little bit for that, but that's up to me. This one came out really pointy here. And I'll explain that to you. So take that, and then you need to make sure you have two pieces, and they should be facing each other. So since you drew on the back, you want the other layer to face. There was an extra piece, so I just left it in there. And then I just take them and put a pin. You can put a couple of pins if you want. And then I just begin trimming. Now, like I told you that I actually widened this compared to my template. Plus, I also widen it when I'm cutting it, and all I do is I go a little bit, give it a little bit more room there so that I was finding I was having trouble in that area. So then when I cut it, I just kind of give myself a little more space there. But everything else I kind of liked, and I noticed that I kind of want this head to be a little bit more, not so tall. This is up to you. You can trim it. You can do it exactly like your picture, or you can use your imagination. I tried to make the beak a little more prominent, and I rounded the beak on my own. So you keep that in mind. And you know what? When you make it, you can make yourself a fabric template, or you can use the paper template. When I first was cutting them and practicing on those ones you see below, I was just attaching the paper to the fabric and cutting it. And then I said, I think it's easier if you pin the fabric. So that's all you do. You just go through and finish cutting that up. All right, I trimmed mine out, and we're going to use that bird that we just trimmed out. And keep these because I'm going to go through and show you. I redid one of my cluster tutorials, and I'm going to use this type of stuff, my leftover pieces, to do another one in different colors so I can give you guys ideas. So this one, you're going to take it, and this is a very thin cotton, so I thought you might want to see me work with the thin cotton. And what I've been doing is I'm putting it together and making sure, especially that the beak is on there properly, and then I pin this piece together. That just helps me and all we're going to do is glue. Now you can take this and you can sew right directly on top of it. See, there's front and back. You can sew directly on top of it, or like what I'm doing is I'm going to glue it. And you'll see that it kind of makes it a little bit smaller, but then it comes back when you add the trim. So I like to start at the beak because it's the most detailed, and I put it there and I kind of hold it so that it doesn't move around. I mean, with the satin one, it moves around a little more than this does. And you want to do sew a little bit just along the edges. If you sew it, you probably want to go 1/16 to less than 1/4 inch all the way around, unless you want it shabby. I want you to go, I'm going to put in the description box a couple of other ladies I saw who made them, and they left them shabby. So I could think of all kinds of ways to make these more shabby and to keep that tattered, torn look if you want. But this is all I'm going to do. Is I'm going to put that close for you so you can see what I'm doing. I just have that, and then I'm putting my I have a detailed Surebonder. This one, they no longer make this one, but they do have a green one now, and it's a detail Surebonder glue gun. I think it's the only small detailed gun I can find, but I've always loved it. But I do have a new one, and I actually don't like it as much as I like the old one. So when I come over here, I'm also careful right here along this. When I found I like stuffing it from the bottom, so make sure you don't do the whole bottom. If you want, you can move your pen back over here, which I'm going to do just because I'm talking, and I feel like I want you to see this in detail. I fold it back. I mean, of course, I have it closer to me when I do it, but I put very little glue just along the entire edge. And when you're going around corners or around detailed, do a little bit at a time. So now we're getting to the tip. The tip, I mean, I do a 1/2 inch to 1 inch in some areas, like near the beak, very little. I put just a little bit. The same as when you're adding the trim. And I'll show you the trim I'm going to use on this one. But you can choose whatever trim you want. So there we go. And I'll show you how I did it, because you might want to get some GIMP. GIMP is a kind of trim I used on mine. You might find it as Chinese GIMP in my shop. I do have some, and I'll show you that later. But I do a little bit at a time, a section at a time when I'm in these detailed areas. And because you do want it to glue. You can always add glue after if it's coming apart later, because it can. But it's going to be reinforced again with the trim. But you can by all means leave this shabby when you do this. But if you would, you know, it could pop open when you're stuffing it, so stuff it lightly. I'm going to leave some of the bottom open, but I'm going to go a little bit more because that's where I'm going to stuff it from. All right. Again, I'm going to go back to over by the beak because I'm going to leave this part open. And so when you're near the beak, that's when you want to go slowly. And then you could go a little bit, you know, you could go 2 inches after you go by, maybe 1/2 inches by the beak. And then, so that's what you're seeing. It gets kind of messy. Oh, did you notice? I just put up my new mat on the bottom. I bought a new one finally. My other one was all warped. Oh, I think I might have gone too close. We'll see. All right, so there we go. Now you can take the pin off, and now what you're going to do is you're going to stuff it. Okay, for the stuffing I'm using just some of this fiber fill. You can also just use batting between it and sew the batting on, or glue the batting on, but I left the space open at the bottom. And then what I do is I make sure that I just get a little bit, and I stuff the tail first, because this tail is the hardest to get to. That's why I told you to make this a little wider here so you have enough room to get that stuffed. Let me see if I could use my finger, but if I can't use my finger, then I'll see my finger, but I don't even think it fits in there. So I'm going to use this dowel I have here. I'm going to take this dowel downstairs to hang my angel on my Christmas tree. I have photos of some of the ornaments I have. I don't have handmade ornaments on my Christmas tree. I have vintage. And can you see right here, it's opening, So I did put enough glue there. If you want, you can pull it back out, because I like to show you if you run into problems what you should do. And I would pull a little bit of it out because of how tight I made that. And then I'm gonna add glue there. Most of the time it's not that tight and I just add it in, so I just loosened it. So this is why you do a little bit at a time. You try to make sure, but I like to make errors and show you that don't worry about your little errors, just fix them up. There you go. It's because you're going to put the trim around here. And if you want to keep it like this, I would make it, if I was going to not put trim on it, then I would probably put a bigger border, maybe a 1/4 inch border rather than a 1/8 border like I'm doing. Okay, so stuff that tail as much as you want it stuffed. And when you're pushing on there, you got to be gentle, because again, this one was actually, I missed a spot, but you could break open the seam because it's just hot glue holding that together. So don't overstuff. You want these to be lightly stuffed, not heavily stuffed. I just wanted the shape. And then I go over and I do by the beak area, and then I fill the rest. Okay, let's put that beak. So go over by the beak. The beak is not as hard if you actually have it formed a little. There you go. And then finish filling the rest. Okay, after I put plenty of stuffing in there, or how much I want, you can stuff it lightly or stuff it thicker. This is up to you. It's harder to put it back, close it up if you put a lot of stuffing. So I just pushed it lower so I can grab onto it, and now I'm just going to glue along this area to close it up. And again, I put glue along here, and I do a little bit, line it up. Now you got to be careful when you're holding this together. You might find little glue bits that seep out, that you can trim that out if you need to later. Okay, here's the other side. So as you can see, the thicker bird is going to show a little. I like the rounded birds. I think you should look and choose the one you like, and if you need to modify it a little bit to use for stuffing, then do that, because there's a lot of cute birds in there, and I like the ones with the beak. I modified the other one so that it has the tail. So both of these are going to work fine. Or you can draw your own. I saw a few. I might put the links in the description box of other people who have made something similar, so you can see how cute that is. It's all done. You can add a hanger and be done with it if you want, but we're going to put a little trim around it. All right, here's a trim. I have a variety to choose from. This one is the same one I put on this lavender one, and I have this in my shop. It is called the mauve purple because it's kind of like almost rosy mauve, and so you could put this one on there so you can see the different trims. It can change it, so that will go fine, that matches the color. Okay, so these are some of the ones I have in my shop. I'm going to show you. So this is pink, blue, and lavender. I have more. This is called mauve purple, I think, and it's kind of like a rosy mauve, and I love this type of color, so that's why I always have that. And then this kind of a blue is not completely pastel, kind of a, but it is light. And then I have some in my stash, which I guess I could, if you really want some of this, I probably could put this in my shop, but I like this one. It's a vintage one, and it's the one I used on the bird. Then I'm going to try using, oh wait, this is another type I have in my shop. This gimp, and you want to, I prefer this other gimp. It's a little bit thinner and it folds better. So this one, you could possibly use it. It does fold and it forms. You see, it forms. That's what's cool about the gimp, is it forms around things. So if you have never used gimp on your projects, this is just a wonderful thing, because look how it rolls and forms. So This one doesn't form as well this way, as this one kind of forms a little better if you're going around something. This one I have, and mostly bright colors. This is the lightest color. I have a teal. I think I have white, dark purple. So you could use this one, and you'll find that in my shop. If you can't find something in my shop, because I have a lot of things in my shop, then just let me know. I'm going to try and use one of these trims. This is also a GIMP, but this one has beautiful pearls, and the folding is not quite as easy as that other one. So I'm going to try this one on this, not the pink, but I'm going to try this mauve purple. This is an ombre type trim. On the purple, it kind of variegates along the trim in different colors, but I'm going to try this and see if I can do it. We'll see. And I don't cut it ahead of time. One thing about GIMP unravels. So usually if I'm sending it to you, I might put some tape on it. I don't always put the tape, but anytime you order GIMP, you need to know that it unravels easily. And in this case of this type, you can lose these beads too. So I took the tape off, and then I'm going to put glue right here just so that it won't continue unraveling. And I don't have the tape on there. And I'm probably going to consider cutting some of that off, that tip off. And I liked the last one I did, when I did this one, which was the last one I did. I've experimented where I start, and I started at the beak on this one. I like how the beak came out. So I've started here with some of the others. Let me see. Yep, right here. It's hard sometimes to keep it continuous and not be able to tell. So I'm going to try this and see how it works. And I'm expecting to skip that first one. I wonder what it's going to look like. What do you think? Oh, well, we'll try it. If I like it, then I can do it more. If I don't like it, then I can go back to the other one, which is more of a mauve colored. And I think I started with too much right there. I should have started slower, but I'm going to show you what I do right now. Okay, so then I take it and I go all the way around like this. This one I leave. It's too long, but I'll cut it later. And then there's two ways you can do it. You can put the glue on the actual fabric, which sometimes if it's burning you when you're pushing it down, you might want to do that. But I'm going to put it on here, and I'm just putting it right in the center because I will come back, and then I push towards that, and glue could seep through if you put a lot, so you might want to stop. So I wonder what this is going to look like. Kind of interesting. And see, I'm also interested if it goes around. So let's see. Okay. So really what the most is gluing is I'm squishing it together. And because you can always come, like if the beads bother me here, I might cut some of them off. I might. So I just wanted to test this GIMP and see how it works. Because I know that other GIMP I showed you, you'll put it on the same way. And I do the center, and then I push it down, and I give it I count like a second or something, and let that glue not be too hot for me when I squish it, because it could seep through. And this one's a little wider than this. Let me see. Yeah, it's wider. You see how much wider it is? So we'll see what it looks like. I may like it, I may not. So what you do is experiment. And I'm just putting a little more glue there so it'll stay down. When you come to this side, this is where you got to go very slow. And I usually just kind of experiment to see what it's going to look like. And what I see is this is so much wider than the other one. I'm going to glue this part down here. You don't, on the other, with the other GIMP, I didn't have to do that. But I'm doing it that way. That way when I come this way, it's going to overlap right there. Okay. And some of the pointiness will be gone. And then I'm also going to glue on the actual thing, so I know exactly where to put my glue. And then I put it there, and I make sure this one dries a few seconds before I do the next portion, because it's forming over the curves. So, but again, I do the little part at a time. Okay. There you go. That's actually looking kind of cute. But this one I'm using, it's very different. I'm using this white. So we'll see what it looks like. All right, when I'm done with this one, we will probably make another one together, and then I will also show you some tips and tricks on what to put here if you want to add something there. I'll show you so basically, if you're going to make the satin one, big difference is if you use your thickest satin that you have, because the satin moves around a bit more. It's a little bit harder to work with than this is plain cotton, and this is a very thin cotton. Thicker the cotton, the better. So some of you just want to see how I did it. So those of you who are those types of learners who basically take off on your own after you see an idea, this is probably enough for you to decide what to do yourself. And I showed you something different in the first one, so you know that this is the one I was using, and you put it on all the same way. So I wonder if I'm going to like this one when I'm all done. We'll find out. Right now, almost done. And I do a little bit at a time, because you got to push down and then squeeze it together. And then you could come back around here. I'm going to put more glue if I need it, or if it makes me feel more secure, you know. Okay, now here at the end, I'm going to examine this and see what I like. I feel like what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off on that extra one that I left on there. But I'm going to first glue here so that it doesn't come apart when I glue it. And that's what I do, is that because GIMP unravels quite easily, you have to make sure it's glued. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors and cut that one little piece off. Okay. See, and I might remove some of those beads. I'm not sure if I like them all the way around. We'll see if I like it. So this is how I experiment. I try it, and then I decide. I try different shapes. I try different fabric. I'm going to show you some other fabrics that I used. But it's quite simple to make these, and then adding more embellishments is up to you. I'm going to put a few links of other ladies who've done something similar, and they've decorated them differently than I am. And I'll put it in the description box, okay? Because I know this is not my original idea. Again, I make things my own. So I think that year I was watching someone, I can't even remember who I was watching when I made this first pink one, wherever the pink one is. Oh, I was watching somebody, and I decided I wanted to try it. But I never finished it that year. So then I said, found it in my basket. I said, okay, well, I'll do it this year. All right. So here I go. I'm cutting this again. And again, this is near the tips is where it can unravel. So you're careful there. Oh, what do you guys think? Do you like it? I think I'm going to close this curtain, see if it looks like I'm getting too much sun in here. Close the curtain. See if that looks better. Okay, what do you guys think? I think I like it. I might take this one bead off, but I'm not sure. Just that one bead, because it looks good on the head, looks good on the back, looks good along here, gives it a different look, but I'm not sure about that one. That one also looks like it might be unraveling, so I'm going to go under there and put some glue just to make sure it doesn't come off unless I want it to come off, unless I choose to do so. And there's the thread is right there. I'm going to put a tiny dab by that thread. Make sure, because if that comes off, I want to be the one who chooses to take it off. I don't want it to just fall off. Okay, so now what you do after this is that you go around and you see where else you might want to put some glue. And so I put it, you can put it all along, or you can put it in chosen spots. So I'm just, it's best to put the glue like right where this little lump is, and that's what I'm doing in some sections. And I might go through and do more, but I just want to show you. I can see it loose right here, so definitely going to put some right here. And this is also the second way this holds together is with glue. You can use fabric tack. At this time, if I was doing this to sell, I'd either sew it, or like I'm doing here when I do my final, instead of using hot glue, I would probably use fabric tack, because I just like that extra security when I'm selling items. Because I know I used to live in an area where it's so hot. Yes, the fabric, and anything that had glue in the, especially if it was outside, would just melt. It would come off. That's why I'm so cautious about what glue I use. I do use hot glue, but I usually use another glue. So what do you think of that one with the beads along the edge? Now the other so now I did this one. I'm going to go ahead and just show you a little bit about we might do one or more of these with the satin, or I can do something else. I'm going to just show you some of my other ideas. So here's this one, and this is with that different bird shape. Can you see the difference in the shapes? This one's longer, this one's not. I like this shape with this tail, I think. And I don't know, I like the beak because the beak came out like that, because that's where I ended. You see how it came out more prominent compared to this one. Look, it's not as prominent, the beak, which is fine. It's up to you how you like them. All right, let me show you some other fabrics I chose. I cut out some more. Look at this one. So you can use any fabric you like. This one won't need much if you make it with this fabric. Let me see. I just want to show you the fabrics. I'm not going to make them all, but I want to see how pretty that is with this bird. I made the couple of different birds. Oh, look at this fabric. I'm going to pull them over. Look how pretty this fabric is. So then these were together. You're going to flip them. Look how pretty. That's a Christmas fabric. So these are just ideas for you so that you can experiment on your own. And here's the stocking. And again, when they're facing each other, you take them apart and then you put them back to back. Look how pretty that looks. That's gorgeous. So fabric, plain, you can embellish more. This kind, you don't have to embellish as much. Let me take this one off so I could show you this. Well, this one was folded. So here's some checkered. Cute, cute, cute. Oh, and this one for the stocking. Let me see the stocking. All right, then I'm going to show you, after I show you, these are just different ideas that you can try after I show you this. Then I'm going to show you some of the wings you can add on, show you how to add the laces. Look how cute that looks. I was going to cut it right next door, then I realized this would look so cute right down the center, and then I won't have to do anything else if I want to add the edges or sew it and leave it shabby, or realize that if I leave it shabby, maybe I want to make it an 1/8 inch wider. So that's all up to you. Those are a lot of ideas there. Oh, here is this fabric. I forgot to show you this one. Look how pretty that is. Pretty, huh? Okay, so, and here's, I'll probably make this one, the satin one, at the end here. All right, so let me show you about the wings. So here's these 3, and then I have all these. I have a stocking. Okay, I'm going to show you the wings. So this wing, I chose to put lace on it, which a lot of people like. Now, the most important thing about the wing is that you want to shape it, the shape of your wing, you want it to be bigger here and smaller here. Okay, you see that? So that's what I chose. I chose that was bigger here, and I put the smaller part on this one. So what I did is I'm going to show you, here's a piece. This piece is from the same lace that we used I used to make the ornaments this year. See this one? I cut this out right here. See? I decided how much I wanted. I made it shaped kind of like the wing shape. We can cut this off if it doesn't look good. And now you can take this, place that here as a wing. You could trim it more or just leave it like that. So I want you to know you can choose something I have in my shop and use it, or just use your scraps, use your imagination. Okay, that's my goal here, is to show you that yes, I like to sell you stuff, but at the same time, we can't always afford things, right? And then this is another lace I have in my shop. I got this idea one, and this is a fringe trim, really cute, floral, and I got the idea of taking this one, and I'll trim this part off. I'm going to show you how cute this might look. This one I got this idea when I was trying to clean up. Okay, I cut off a piece with 3. Now, how cute would that look? And I mean, you can either take this to go that way, and when you glue it on, look how cute. Okay, you can use what you have. You can use a scrap. Okay, let me show you something else. This one, what do I have over here? Okay, well, if it's big enough, you could use this one. These I have in my shop, this size. Let's see. And just put a pretty circle on there. That would look cute. This one, and then here's another circle. I have this one in my shop. That would look cute. See? Now, some things would not look cute on this one. This might look okay, but I would want, this one looks kind of vintage, so I would either tea-dye it or choose something different, a different color. Like I have these in red. Here's a cute little flower you can add. Let me put it on this one, on pink. See that? So you can choose that. There's all kinds of things. You don't have to use, oh, here's a little, where'd you go? Here's 2. I have these both in my shop, but you might have something similar in your stash. And I have these cute little, this is a newer one I recently bought, but I've had this one, and I don't have it in a lot of colors. I have it in basic black. This one I have in black and gold. So gold might look good on this bird over here. And then you can just, remember the wider part is this way and the narrower part's that way. Put that there. You could possibly put this one. Or you can put 2 hearts like this. I mean, you'd use the same one. See, that would look cute. 2 hearts like that. All ideas. Okay, this one I think really looks cute. Really looks cute. Let's see. This is a trim I have in my shop. I no longer have it in pink, and because I decided to stop carrying this because, so I just have it in cream because it's a slow seller. Nobody's buying it. It's a really nice pink lace, but it's not getting purchased very often. So sometimes I phase things out. And so this one's in cream. So I'm going to show you what I did. Look what I got out of that. Perfect wings. So this one goes on this side. Look how cute. Oh, look how cute. So these are just ideas. Look. Cute, cute, cute wings, right? Now you can also make them go this way up if you want. So there's, out of this, I'll show you how I got that one, because this is the piece. That one happened to be pink. I just took this, and you might have something similar to this. That's why I want to show you what I did. So your wings, all kinds of things you can use. There we go. I took that, and then I just cut off here. Now this beige cream color might look good on that other bird, or that other bird's so cute. I might not put a wing on it at all because it looks so cute just like that. Oh no, it looks good with that too. See? Oh, that one's upside down. So that when you got 2 out of it, so you got 1 for each side. That actually looks really good on there. Doesn't that look good? See that? All right. Let me see if I have more ideas. Okay, so here on this one, I used some of this. So let me show you some of the flowers. I have these types of things in my shop also, but you might have something similar. I keep on saying the same thing, don't I? So this is a gorgeous piece of trim. I would fussy cut it, and look how cute that might look on there. Just a piece. A little tiny tidbit. And then here, if we put something similar to that one here, you can still just use this. Look, it would look so cute. What else do I have? Another one. These are just some I have pieces of, so you can use 3 little of these flowers, and look how cute it just makes it look. Oh, here's the lavender one I used on this one. So I could actually make a pair and have a little bit of this color, same color on that one. And then we have these in my shop. I'm just showing you just different ways. Look how cute. I like that. Let me see. Let me try that on the... This one's almost like a, not coral, but blush pink. Rosy blush, something like that. Cute. You can even embellish one on the top of the head. That would look cute. Oh, this was one of my favorites, and I might put this one on here, or on another pink one if I make another one. Look how pretty that looks. This is one of the trims I have in my shop, and it comes like this, and it's easy to fussy cut it. And I use these on different things. I've used it on my angels. But look how pretty. I'm gonna try it on the pink, the lavender one. You can see it better, or it would look best on this color, I think. See that? Okay, a bunch of ideas. Just so many ideas. Now, the basic simple idea I had is, this is what I was going to show you. I had it in my basket still. I took something like this shape right here, cut it out. I actually made it a little bit smaller for what I was doing. I wanted it to be smaller, but something in that shape. And this one is pink. So you can just cut any lace out that you have. Use it like that. Look how cute that looks. See? This one has a little bit of pink, and this one has the white. Let's try it on this bird over here. See, that looks really, really cute. I like the white on it because it makes the white stand out. I like that. And let's see, I like that on this one. I think I found, if I would do it for this one, it would be, I would choose a cream colored lace. So just cut it out. You can also cut out a floral fabric. So say we took this same floral fabric right here that you had scraps of, and then just cut it out. And you want to change your design. So I like giving you ideas because I think some of us sometimes we get creativity block, but I don't know. I could go on and on and on when I'm trying something new. And so just cut it out. You could do a better cutting than I did. Okay. And let's see how cute this might look. Give us an idea. It needs to go on this side. Oh, I cut that really terrible, but it gives you an idea of what it might look like. It needs to be smaller, I think. So feel free, just trim it smaller if it's too big. It's not a big deal. There we go. There you go. And that would look cute if that's how you want your design. All right, that was a lot of ideas I gave you to using my stuff, but I'm sure you have things that are similar. You don't have to use my stuff. You don't have to use my fabric. I mean, you don't have to use any of my stuff. Just use what inspires you. Now we're going to go ahead and make the pink one. For those of you who want to hang around a little bit longer, just so you can, and I'm going to use one of the other trims. What did happen to my pink one? Here's one. Here's the other. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just show you one more time near the beak. And then after that, I'm going to just do it all on my own, and then I'll come back and we'll do the trimming on the edge. I'm looking for a pin. I'm always losing things, so I'll grab another one. Okay, so I'm meeting up my, so this blush pink is a bit stronger, sturdier satin than this one, or even than this one. So you don't want to use the cheapest satin you have or the thinnest fabric you have unless you know, double it up or something. And then I do the head first a little bit, and that's for stability. Meet them up along here. I'll do a little bit at a time, 1/2 inch or so. Okay. And just a little bit. I'm saying I'm going about 1/8 of an inch, all directly on the edge, about 1/8 of an inch. And 1/4 might be too much, but you can go a little bit more. All it does is make it wider. All right, so now I want you to finish doing that all up, and then I'm going to show you how I put the other trim on too. Okay, one thing I forgot to re-mention to you is that when you are gluing this, I put the glue, and I put about 1 inch or 1/2 inch or so. I do it gently, and then I count a second or two, and then I squish it, because otherwise you might burn yourself. And then also it sometimes will seep out, like it has seeped out right there, or you get fray. I want that, you take that, especially on this satiny stuff, it basically, you just go and trim it, fussy cut that off, so it doesn't get in the way when you're adding your trim. All right, now I did this bird, and this is not the one that's that's extremely chubby, but what I'm going to do is I love this pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pattern and I'm going to make it a little bit chubbier, and maybe more like, you know, more like this one. And then I will, when I cut more, but I actually have a lot of them already cut. Now again, remember this phrase. So it was fraying, I did a clean cut, and then make sure the glue goes all the way up so that it doesn't continue fraying. And I put it right. I'm doing mine at the beak. You can do yours wherever you want. Okay. And what I do also is when I fold it and I kind of form it to the direction I'm going to go before I actually glue it. This helps. This helps if you're having difficulty. Since this is a high quality satin fabric, it's very thick. It's firmer than the other ones. It's a little bit harder if you're using the really soft fabric. And I hold it like this, and then I go and push that down, folded. Okay. Again, your initial gluing that you're doing is just the center, and then we're coming back and putting it wherever else we think it needs to be. And when, like I said, when the fabric's thicker, it's easier to actually put a little pressure when you're putting it on. So I'm forming it around before I'm gluing, just so I know that it's kind of, so that's what's cool about this type of trim. This is called gimp. Not all gimps bend as much as this one. This one bends, actually the white one we did earlier on the floral, it actually bends pretty well. It molds pretty well. Where the thicker one that I have, it doesn't mold as well. But this type, you can see the detail. It molds very well. So this, If you can't find something in my shop, you can go to my Facebook page or Facebook group. I have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. In the Facebook group, you can share any finished projects that you have that are handmade. It doesn't have to be one of my designs. In fact, I encourage you to. I encourage you to be inspired and to find places where you can inspire other people with your creations, because that's how you learn, is by inspiring. A lot of times when I get closer to the beaks, I will, or closer to an edge, a small little moldable edge, I'll put the glue on the actual thing instead of on the yarn, because I don't know how far it's going to end up taking me. So, and then right here, I'm going to put the glue all the way up to the top of the beak where I want it. And then I'm going to wrap it with this. And then I'm going to cut it after. So I think I liked that the best, putting it beginning and ending at the beak. I kind of liked that, because if you end up with a little piece out, it's not a big deal. You can add a little glue, but there's that one. So now, yep, that's with that GIMP trim. Looks finished. But some of the other videos that they showed, they're the same type, using, similar birds, but they don't finish off the edges like I did with the GIMP. It's just the idea got when I was looking at it. I said, what can I do with it? I said, let me put GIMP on it. Since I had GIMP on my mind because I was ordering it. And I go, oh, we did a very good job. So everybody liked this one. So this is a longer bird. If you like the chubby birds, look for a chubby bird. And I give you tons of ideas, so I hope you are inspired to create your own. And how can you help me? You help me. You don't all need to go buy from my shop, although I do appreciate when you do, because I have a lot for you to choose from to inspire you. I don't show you everything I have, but I'd like you, every single one of you, to subscribe to my channel, to like my video, to the best thing you can do is share my video with one of your friends. Share it on your own Facebook group with your crafty friends, and comment on the bottom. That helps me. If you're getting free tutorials from me, you don't have to purchase my items, but I like to inspire. I used to just give all my teaching away for free, and I try to encourage you now to please support me in some way, and to feel comfortable with the free, tutorials that I give you. And I hope they are inspiring you, and you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you guys next time.